Everyone would like to call this Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, June 18, 2019. It is now 4:33. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after? Okay, thank you on that. Can we get a roll call on the commissioners?
Merrick,
Here.
Soto Presley,
Here.
Esposicki,
Here.
Myrick,
Here.
Pepper.
Here. For the record, we have all five are present. Okay, number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4, communications.
I have none.
Okay. I think I received something. It was just really nothing to really read. It's so I'll just. I think staff got one of these. It's from Dennis Podolsky over United Neighborhoods Inc. Okay, number 5 is our minutes dating May 9th, 2019 and May 21st, 2019.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for the Redevelopment Commission for May 9th, 2019 and May 21st, 2019.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for our minutes dating May 9th, 2019 and May 21st, 2019. Is there any corrections or additions on these minutes? Okay, roll call, please.
Myrick,
Here. Yes. This
Soto
American.
Presley. Soto Presley,
Yes.
Esposicki,
Yes.
Merrick,
Yes.
Helfrich.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, that brings us to number 6, our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. Looks like we have 2 applicants, William Morgan and Simeon Wilson.
Commissioners, Mr. Morgan has chosen a different house than the ones listed, so he will come back before you once he gets all his documentation in to Andrea, and he has a different closing company as well. So as soon as all that information is submitted, then we'll bring him back before you. But we do have Mr. Simeon Wilson here. He's going to purchase 7449 Southeastern Avenue.
How everybody doing?
Welcome, Mr. Wilson.
How you doing?
So, Mr. Wilson, how did you hear about our program?
A friend?
Friend.
Yes.
Are you a first-time home buyer?
Yes.
Okay.
Happy?
Happily?
Yes.
That's a good thing. Anyone else has any questions for Mr. Wilson?
Not at this time.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the homebound conditional forgivable loan for Mr. Simeon Wilson for 7449 Southeastern Avenue.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. That is for the applicant Simeon Wilson at 7449 Southeastern. Can we have a roll call, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Esposicki,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Helfrich.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
You may be excused if you'd like.
Okay. Okay. Thank y'all again.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
All right. Number 7 is added onto our agenda tonight. It's a public hearing. It's a 2018 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, known as CAPER. I'm going to open up a public hearing now. Public hearing is open now. Public hearing is open now. Okay, public hearing is closed. Public hearing is closed. Public hearing is closed. All right, that brings us to number 8, an approval of the proposal from Dixon Engineering, technical specifications and contract documents for a 1.5 million gallon radial arm tank.
Members of the commission, this, if you look in your package, you will find a proposal from Dixon Engineering regarding technical specifications for a contract that will address some repair work that needs to be done at the water tower on Columbia Avenue. We have Ed Cruiser here from the Water Department to answer any questions you may have or give a further overview of the scope of work.
Welcome, Ed. He is the director and CFO of the Hammond Water Department.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I didn't know if you wanted to give a little quick overview of the tanks in kind of dire need of some paint and some repairs if you've driven past it, especially when you're north heading south, you can.
Yes, that's very true. Dixon Engineering's been our tank engineer for at least the last 30 years. And they did a recent inspection to reconstruct and paint the tank. We asked them to submit documentation to prepare the bids, to go out, to have the Hammond Redevelopment Commission go out for bids to paint and reconstruct the tank. Document you have today is the agreement for Dixon to prepare those bid documents.
So this document just precedes the receiving of proposals.
Correct.
Anybody have any other questions? Nope. Mr. President, I move for the approval of proposal from Dixon Engineering Technical Specifications Contract Documents for 1.5 mg radial arm tank.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperziki,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Halpert.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you, Mr. President, and go Cubs.
Thank you, Ed. You may be excused. All right, that brings us to number 9, approval proposal from Nees Engineering, construction inspection services for the new parking lot construction at Dowling Park Fields addition. Looks like we got City Engineer Dean Button.
You want me to explain it?
Sure.
Sure. Thank you very much. You guys look great today. This proposal you have in front of you is to Nees Engineering for the purposes of construction supervision, observation of the project that's being funded by the city to improve the parking lot, the city-owned lot, and with an arrangement for future shared parking of some additional facilities in and around the Ice Cube. The project, bids were received for the project, and they came in under budget. We received bids from the construction contractors at the Board of Public Works and Safety. I prepared an original estimate that was a little lofty, and it came in about $400,000 under. So I estimated about 1.2 million. It came in about 850,000, which we were really happy about, but there were some corrections that needed to be made. You'll notice that the Nees Engineering contract is in the amount of about 5% of the construction contracting work, which is well within our guidelines for this type of scope of services. Overall, it puts the project still remains under budget, under the $1.2 million we had expected. And so we would ask for your approval to engage Nees Engineering to do the construction observation and supervision of the project. And I'll entertain any questions.
I'd like to note, too, they are a Hammond firm, which is always a good thing.
Can you briefly explain construction supervision versus the people that bid on the contract?
Sure. So unlike a lot of the projects that the Redevelopment Commission works on, this is a typical project that we do in our engineering office, except it's more of a parking lot than it is a roadway. And generally, what we want to do in the projects that we do in engineering is we have a part-time engineer to observe the construction to make sure that it's being constructed in accordance with the plans. So somewhat unlike the sports complex that had a construction manager and individual trades, this is a general contractor that would manage any subs, and we are paying a third party to observe the construction on our behalf to make sure it's built in accordance with the plans and specifications, and to deal with any things that come up during construction to keep us informed of what's going on. So it's part-time. It's services that our department can't currently provide because we don't have the manpower to do it.
Is it overkill? Or is it standard procedure?
Heavens no. This is for our protection, right? It's for the protection of the city. We do not want a contractor to just go and construct without making sure it's being constructed in accordance with the plans, right? So we want to make sure that the contractor is following the requirements as part of the plan, so that they're putting in the right amount of stone, the right amount of asphalt, those kinds of things. If you don't observe that, you risk it not holding up to the way that it's intended to be designed.
I don't have a problem with it, and I understand, of course, we want it done right. Just, if we compare it to the sportsplex, we didn't have somebody looking over somebody's shoulder. And that's just the way my mind took it.
To some extent you did, right? That's what the construction manager was. They kind of oversaw the individual building trades as they went through, but it's a little bit of a different delivery system. This is very typical of what we do in engineering. We hire a design engineer, a construction contractor, and someone to make sure that it's constructed in accordance with the plan. In this case, the design plans were done by a different firm, Toringa Engineering, whereas the design firm, in this case, it makes the most sense, and I talked to the chief of staff, and it made sense to hire Nees, the local firm, to observe the project.
So this amount the amount that you stated then can very well change?
It's always possible that things can change as a result of.
As in the sports complex that we kept having to.
A little bit different than that, right? So you were contracting additional services with the individual trades, right? So if you're doing the HVAC for the building, then you were contracting directly with the individual trades. We're contracting with the construction contractor who is doing work and performing work, and we're hiring somebody to observe the work because we don't have the staff to do that in our department. It is possible that the construction services could go over budget. Normally, that happens when the project goes longer than expected, right? So we need that engineer to be out there longer than we expected, or some unforeseen conditions that happen. We start digging and we find a pipeline that we didn't expect, and how do we manage that? And that would require more of the engineer's time to manage that issue. Normally, these contracts come in and we try to make sure that we've planned for those occasions. But you have to give them a scope of work. How long are we going to be out? How long are we going to be out there for every week? How many weeks are we going to be out there? And that kind of sets the stage for the amount of work that they're going to do. But inevitably, these projects have some volatility in them. There are some things that we just don't know are going to happen until we get out there and do that. My opinion is that the engineer's work is not as volatile as what could be with the construction contractor. I appreciate your scrutiny, but this is to help the city make sure it gets what we've designed. Thank you.
It's like a first inspector on the job. I've seen these type of individuals on construction sites. Sometimes they document things and have a journal and
process pay applications, review submittals, recommend approval, actually approve the submittals if they're concrete, mixed designs to make sure they're in accordance with our specifications.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I mean, I'm fine. Thank you for me. I'm fine.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the proposal from Nice Engineering for construction inspection services for the new parking lot construction at Dowling Park Fields Addition.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval proposal for Nees Engineering for construction inspection services for the new parking lot construction at Dowling Park Fields Addition. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll
How's
call.
the ice cube coming along?
Pretty well. So, you know, it's means and methods. So they kind of decide on how they're going to move forward. We don't, you know, it's their building, right? So they told us that most recently that they were going to try to get open by the end of August. That's too optimistic at this point. So we hope to open sometime in September. And this project that we're seeking your permission on shoots for that goal to make sure that we try to get a September opening. So it's going as well as can be expected.
Okay, is there any more questions? There's still a motion and a second on the floor. Okay, roll call then, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperziki,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Number 10 is authorization to advertise for the sale of real property located at 1345 165th Street.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find an authorization to authorize for the sale of real property located at 1345 165th Street. This is a small parcel that's 10 by 45 feet. It's actually a street remnant that was left over by the Menards Common Division, and the property abuts Lear. Lear actually has the property fenced because they believed that it was theirs, but they found out that it was not theirs, that it is actually ours. So we just sort of want to clean that up, get it off of our asset list, and be able to sell this piece of property to them. Prior to that, though, we do need your permission to advertise.
Mr. President, I move for the authorization to advertise the sale of real property located at 1345 165th Street.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the authorization to advertise for the sale of real property located at 1345 165th Street. Can we get a roll call on that, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperziki,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Number 11 is an authorization to advertise for the sale, purchase, or lease of real property located at 5266 Holman Avenue.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find you'll find a tentative advertisement for the sale, purchase, or lease of property at 5266 Holman Avenue, commonly known as the former LaSalle Hotel. As you know, we have Jeff Speck. We've partnered with Jeff Speck regarding a downtown plan, and upon talking to him, and although we don't have the completed plan, we want to have everything in place so that once we complete that plan, if he states that we can have residential down there, or residential would be favorable, we want to have something in place that we've already advertised for either the sale, lease, or purchase of that property. So we would be asking for authorization in the very near future, because the property is owned by the Hammond Redevelopment Commission, but we want to wait to advertise until after we receive his report, so we can basically request something in conjunction to the report that he gives us.
Wasn't the original intent to demolish the building?
No, the original intent was never to demolish the LaSalle Hotel. No, the property is actually in, it's a very solid building, and it actually has a restaurant at the lower level. We've had some people that have expressed some interest, but prior to actually advertising, we want to make sure that we get his report back to make sure that whatever we approve or whatever we bring before you is in line with what he's stating we should do in the downtown area. So we're just requesting permission at this time to advertise at a very near date.
I think you may be confusing it with the Jefferson Hotel.
Yeah, not the Jefferson. No, the Jefferson has been demolished.
That one we demolished.
Okay, that's
This one is the one right on,
No, I know exactly what it is.
yeah.
I don't doubt I was confused, but I really did think it was coming down. But that's.
Put a big hole right in the middle of the block, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with that land then,
It
but,
didn't say I understood, I said that's what I thought the intent was, but that's fine. No, I actually heard it's a beautiful building, I really.
It is a beautiful
I really
building,
did.
and it would be a wonderful project for a developer that could come in and potentially do something, maybe some residential lofts or something, or mixed use in that building.
Mr. President, I move for the authorization to advertise for sale, purchase, or lease of real property located at 5266 Hammond.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have a roll call on that, please.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5 yes. All right, number 12 is an approval of the Sixth Amendment agreement to purchase real estate for 628 Hoffman Street.
members of the commission, this Sixth Amendment, right, right, we have the original agreement, this is the 7th document, if my math is right. And we're just extending the closing time. We're still working on some of the issues, and it's environmentally related as well as use related for the purchaser. So because those two things are still kind of up in the air in this property, what complicated it was that part of and Mr. Button left, but the sanitary district needed to put the bike path through this property, and there needed to be a bioswale as part of their project. So some of the first delays were figuring out, all right, how much of the property do we not sell so that we can still have the bike path? And then when we looked at it there were some environmental issues, and what of those environmental issues have to be addressed in light of the use that it's being put to, and then who's going to be responsible for those environmental issues of what needed to be addressed. We're still kind of working through both of those issues, how much, and if so, whose problem is it? So that's what's taken a little bit of extra time on this one, more so than you would typically see.
So shouldn't we solve those issues first before we approve it, or?
No, you approved it, then during due diligence, the issues came up.
Oh, okay.
But before you close, you better have those issues resolved, and that's what we're trying to do, is kind of extend the time to close.
Oh, so you need a motion
I do.
to approve this yet again.
Yes, Sixth Amendment, yes.
It'll be a
Okay, so
second.
I'd like to make a motion for approval of the Sixth Amendment Agreement to purchase real estate for 628 Hoffman Street.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of Sixth Amendment agreement to purchase real estate for 628 Hoffman.
My hope is Sixth and Final Amendment.
Oh, we already know it won't be.
Probably not. August 18th, I'll be here asking you for the 7th.
7's a lucky number too, so.
7.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. Okay, number 13, report. Barbara with us tonight, would you like to share anything?
No report at this time.
Number 14 is our bills, register of claims, dating June 3rd, 2019 through June 14th, 2019.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the Register of Claims for June 3rd, 2019 through June 14th, 2019. Register of Claims, R57516 through R57574.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for our Register of Claims dating June 3rd, 2019 through June 14th, 2019. That's claims R57516 and claim R57574. Any questions or discussion on these claims? Okay, roll call on the claims.
Merrick,
Yes.
Sutter Presley,
Yes.
Kaspersky,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 15, new and unfinished business. You have anything tonight? All right, number 16 is public comment. Anybody like to come forward? You can now, you have 3 minutes to speak. Public comment is open. Okay, public comment is closed. Brings us to number 17.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it, meeting is adjourned.